Welcome to Stocks in Translation, Yahoo Finance's video podcast that cuts through the market mayhem, the noisy numbers, and the hyperbole to give you the information you need to make the right trade for your portfolio. I'm Jared Blikre, your host, and with me is Yahoo Finance senior reporter Brooke DiPalma, who's here to connect the dots and to be that bridge between Wall Street and Main Street. Today, we're going to be talking about markets, business, and money matters from a Gen Z point of view. Our phrase of the day, creator economy. If you can create an audience, you can create a paycheck. That's how simple it is, on paper anyway. And for today's market show and tell, we break down market capitalization, the stock market's price tag for a company. And this episode is brought to you by the number 6.4 million. That's how many business applications will be filed in the U.S. this year alone. If you've ever thought, should I start something? You don't want to miss this discussion. And today we are welcoming back Mary Esposito, who is the creator behind Money with Mary, one of several businesses she built while still in college. She's also a peer mentor with UNC Chapel Hill's Financial Wellbeing Center, and she works with literacy nonprofit ReadWorks. You keep busy, Mary.
Just a bit. Jeez.
And it's been a minute since you've been here. Tell us about your year.
Yeah, so hey, y'all. Thank you so much for having me. I am currently a senior studying business at UNC Chapel Hill, and I will be graduating in the spring, after which I will be pursuing Money with Mary, my financial literacy platform, full-time. So I'm super excited to be here, and hopefully by this time next year, I will be in New York.
Ooh, right. And that actually rolls in perfectly because it's time now for our phrase of the day. It's what you might know in today's digital world, the creator economy. That's when people make money from online audiences by selling content, products, or services, often with multiple income streams. And Mary, you've been part of this world. You ran your own Money with Mary franchise. You also started out crocheting. So just break down how exactly you got this journey started.
Yeah, so my first business was not Money with Mary, my educational financial literacy platform. It was actually Purple Pear, which is a crochet and knitting fiber arts account that integrates activism into it. So I started that when I was 14. So I'm 22 now. So wow. 8 years in the content creation business. And over time, I've started with just selling digital handmade started with just physical handmade products that I crocheted and knitted myself. But then I transitioned into scaling into affiliate marketing, paid sponsorship deals, and that's how I've been able to turn this full time.
Let me ask you about social media, because this is something I'm almost 50 years old and I'm just stepping into for the first time. You've given me some great pointers, but tell me how you leverage some of the different social media platforms, and don't be afraid to get in the weeds. Like, people want to know if you're just beginning here, like how you can because we only have so many hours in the day to create content, how you can reuse content across these different platforms.
Yeah, so I would say first I started with identifying my target demographic. For me, that's Gen Z, then figuring out which social media platforms Gen Z frequents the most. And then for me, I decided that was TikTok and Instagram. And now we're seeing a lot of more users start to populate YouTube Shorts. So that's also something interesting from the last time I've been here that's been increasing, that I've expanded into. But Instagram is my primary platform, so I film natively in TikTok, post that to get the raw file, and then repurpose into Instagram content in the form of reels and carousels. And so by alternating between those two and posting multiple times a week, I've been able to grow my Instagram platforms.
Now, when you do this, are you posting the same video on all three different platforms, or are they different?
Yeah, so I start with a concept, and then I can make, for example, if we're talking about the importance of a prenup, I can make one carousel, so static text for that topic, and then I can also create a short form reel about it. I'll post it on TikTok, I'll post it on Instagram, and then I'll also post it on YouTube Shorts, so it has 3 times the chance of going viral and driving traffic to my platform.
Sounds pretty good, right, Jared? Taking notes?
I'm taking notes here because I want to know about your time management next. Like, how do you fit in all of this stuff into your busy schedule? You're a full-time student. You must kind of segment your times, but specifically, how do you lay it out?
Okay. Well, first I would say caffeine is really beneficial. Second, Second, I would say that I do use AI integrated into my workflow. So for example, I use an AI workflow on repurpose.io to automatically post from Instagram to YouTube. So I don't touch my YouTube platform at all, but in the past year, that workflow has enabled me to grow from 0 to over 21,000 subscribers and get monetized under the YouTube Shorts program.
And that's a new addition, isn't it?
It is a new addition.
Tell us about that. That's exciting because now you get paid like a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on the last episode from last year that I did with y'all, we talked about how Instagram paid me $10 for 2 million views. YouTube now pays me $600 for the same amount of views, roughly. So
Nice.
the monetization is so much better on YouTube. So as a creator, I'm really exploring expanding into that platform as well.
Now,
And how do you even get on? How many subscribers do you need to have this YouTube
That was my
platform to be able to
question.
get
Thank
paid?
you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're
both
good.
good
now. Yeah.
So YouTube now has long form, which has always been, what people associate YouTube with, watching the
Might be
10
watching
minute.
us, yeah.
Exactly. But now they also offer YouTube Shorts, which are similar to Instagram Reels or the original TikTok short form video. And so to get eligible for monetization, you can either do a set number of watch hours under long form content, or you can get 10 million valid shorts views within, I believe it's a 90-day period. And once you hit that threshold, you're eligible to apply for monetization, and then you can start earning via ad revenue. So AdSense is what they call it.
And is this something that you learned from your peers? Was this something that you researched?
You just had to figure out
figure out on your
in
own.
the fire.
This is something I had to figure out on my own. I think it's really helpful coming across concepts on social media and other creators being open about their experiences.
Definitely.
But then taking that one step further and doing that due diligence to then do your own research. And that's how I originally stumbled across repurpose.io. That will automatically repost it for me. So it's pretty hands-off for me, but honestly, I earn the most money with the smallest amount of followers on YouTube.
So needless to say, you're not a college working part-time at UNC. This is it for you, doing two things at once, both being a full-time student and a full-time content creator.
Yes, and I'm also helping build out my university's financial well-being center
Naturally.
because I just think financial literacy is
That's
so
great.
important. That's why we're all here, so I'm doing that as well.
Well, that's a perfect segue because we're going to get financially literate in this next segment, Market Show and Tell, where we are breaking down market capitalization, or just market cap. We use it a lot in financial media, and you might have wondered what exactly makes a large cap large. Think of market cap as a market's price tag on a company. To get it, you need only two numbers: the total number of shares of stock that the company has outstanding, also called shares out, and the price per share, which is just the stock price that you can get, by the way, from Yahoo Finance. So let's take NVIDIA as an example, which has 24.3 billion shares outstanding, which we can get from its latest 10Q filing and also the Yahoo Finance website, and we'll use $170 as the current share price. When you multiply those two numbers together, you get $4.1 trillion. So that is it. So let's kind of pivot from there, Mary, because you brought a list of stocks that you like, and I'm noticing that most of them are in the mega cap realm. So talk to us about that and your investing career. How'd you get started here?
Okay, so I originally got started investing under a custodial account. So I was able to start before I turned 18. And then once I was 18, I was able to become more independent in my investing. And yes, I did choose a lot of those large cap stocks because I am a long-term investor and I really wanted to focus on those that I thought demonstrated strong profitability, but also past performance.
So just to name names like Alphabet, Microsoft, NVIDIA, those guys.
Exactly. So I focus on those, and then of course index funds as well to diversify. But I really like NVIDIA. I really like the tech sector, and I'm really interested in exploring more into the AI realm and what stocks I can choose to help build out my portfolio, but have higher growth earning potential because of AI and how it's just such a growing, explosive industry.
And we've been hearing so much about this potential bubble risk within the market. Do you feel like young investors are just so hungry, willing to take on that risk, it seems?
I I think so. I think that the rise of retail investing through the democratization of financial literacy, whether that's through social media, awesome shows like this, et cetera, is getting more people excited about investing, and more people are willing to take those risks. But I would also say that I always focus on maxing out my Roth IRA first, and then with the money left over, I'm willing to experiment into some more risky positions.
Let's go over that real quick, because some of the people out there might be wondering what a Roth IRA is or what the options are for a younger investor. So just tell us your story, how it's gone.
Yeah, so once I started to get earned income, I was able to open a Roth IRA, a tax-advantaged retirement account. And so I've maxed that out every year. I believe the threshold this year is $7,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up. That's a question for ChatGPT.
Okay.
Anyway.
I believe it is. And so I've been maxing that out consistently ever since I've started paying my taxes. And then I have used index funds to flush that out, and then blue chip stocks as well. Cool. And then I've also now have a SEP IRA because as a creator, I have my own LLC. And so I've been able to benefit that way as well.
Do you think that, and also it's worth noting that it's $8,000 if you are 50 years or older as well. But do you think that just in this sort of environment, when your peers look to you and they think, wow, this girl really has it all together, she knows everything, what would be your one piece of advice to them if they're looking to just get started just like you once were too?
Great question.
I would say experience is the best teacher. So I'm 22 years old and I'm not an expert, and I don't claim to be an expert. I've just been taught by experience. So I can only speak to what I have been able to achieve in the market. And I would say just continuing to make mistakes. We talk a lot about our wins, maybe less about our mistakes, but I've made plenty of mistakes. I've invested at the top of Bitcoin. I've invested in maybe some meme stocks that I didn't know were meme stocks. I've maybe trusted Wall Street bets too many times, but that is just as much a part of my journey as all of the wins. And so I just think continuing to fail upward.
Yeah,
describes my journey at Yahoo Finance.
And also just continuing though to be mindful of what you're investing in without taking on too much risk that puts you in a bad spot as well, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I like to take a more long-term approach and a diversified portfolio approach. And that's really why I like index funds. I know it's a little basic, but SPY, one of my top contenders, and then
tracks the S&P 500.
Yes, so I really like that. And most of my Roth IRA is index funds, and then I experiment with higher growth ones in my other portfolio.
All right, Mary, we do have to take a short break, but coming up, we're talking about entrepreneurship and a runway showdown perfect for the creator economy. Stay tuned. This episode is brought to you by the number 6.4 million. That's the annualized pace of U.S. business applications in 2025. And it's a good reminder that small businesses don't have to start big. They can start with a skill, a problem you can solve, and one customer who just has to say yes. Mary, we want to borrow your operator brain here for another minute. We're not asking for advice here, but break down the choices that you had to make when you decided to build this business. And also, this is from the ground up, so any challenges that came in your way as well.
Yeah, so I would say what inspired me to start my own business was I wanted the financial freedom. I want to be able to live life on my own terms. I want to travel, I want to have a family. I want to do all of these things. And so this is something that Building Money with Mary has allowed me to do. I'm 22 now, and I hope it only continues to get bigger and better.
How old were you when you started it?
I was 18 when I started Money with Mary, but 14 when I started my own business. So one of the biggest decisions I had to make was where I wanted to promote myself. And I chose social media because that's where my target demographic, Gen Z, is. So if I can meet them where they already are, then I have a better chance of building that relationship with them and converting them into customers. So I decided to focus on Instagram and TikTok. And then from there, I built a story, my personal brand story around my business. And so I help people feel connected to me, not just as, the face of a business, but also just for as a person, human to human.
Yeah, it's so important to have that touch.
Yes, it is. Talk to us about some of the wonkier details. Like, I know you have an LLC. What was the thought process? And okay, now I need this corporate umbrella. Like, how did you navigate that?
Yeah, well, for starters, I had to find lawyers and accountants. I was not qualified to do that myself. So I started with that. My LLC is now a toddler. So February of 2024 was Esposito LLC's birthday. But then from there, I would say that it helps with tax filing, but it also just helped me take myself more legitimately. Now it helped me stay organized. Now I need to focus more on personal versus business expenses and be more mindful of income tracking and how that translates into saving for retirement, especially being self-employed. So I would say that was a mindset benefit that I got from filing my LLC and taking it, quote unquote, more legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so for someone who wants to start this, it's amazing you started this at 14, they started this at 18. Did your relatives, did your parents, did anyone help you sort of parse that together? How did you find these lawyers, find these people who were going to help you?
Yes.
LinkedIn?
So I would say that I think that a lot of people like to use the term self-made. And I am my only employee at my business. I'm my own boss, employee, etc., all of that. But I am not self-made because I've had so many people help me. Even y'all are helping me right now, with my visibility. But my mom, my dad have been so supportive. My mom bought me my first pair of knitting needles, for example, that got me started. I have been connected with incredible people through mutual friends and networks that have been
Everyone wants to help.
Everyone wants to help. And sometimes it's just about taking that first step and reaching out or asking. You're afraid that maybe these people don't want to help you. The worst they can say is no, in which case you're already back where you currently are.
Talk to us about your trading again and how you've structured that. Are you just trading that in a retirement account, that Roth account that you set up there? You ever want to go just have like a crypto account that you play with on the side? Do you have any ideas about leverage? Where do you want to go next with trading?
So first, I would say I always max out my Roth IRA because of the retirement benefits and the tax advantages of that. I also have a SEP IRA, which is another retirement benefit account for self-employed people. So I'm also able to max that out. And then to your point, yes, I do invest a little in crypto, but it is money that, if it were to disappear tomorrow, I could still be okay. So I'm not putting any super critical amounts of money into crypto, but I am experimenting and exploring Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Oh, cool.
Do you feel like people your age are more open to where cryptocurrency could go, tokenization, just more options out there? Are people talking about it more, you feel like?
They definitely are. And I think part of the reason why there has been more interest in crypto is because there's been the democratization of information about it. And there's such a much lower barrier to entry now. You just can download an app. I personally use Coinbase, but I know there's multiple other apps that people can use and then just put money into crypto and then check it every day and then see how it's performing. So it's no longer as many obstacles to invest in crypto. And I feel like not only with crypto, but with stocks as well, that's encouraged people my age to get more involved earlier.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Web3. Is it just a buzzword for your generation? There are some legitimate products and projects that I've seen on it. I don't want to, put it down, but a lot of people just kind of give lip service to the whole DeFi movement, decentralized applications, decentralized finance. I'm wondering, is this something that you've ever considered?
Yes, it is something that I have considered, and I've been reading about it and interested in this space since 2022. But I will say that I have less than 5% of my portfolio in crypto because it is traditionally more volatile and risky, and you don't yet have that history of performance like you do with these bigger stocks and index funds. And so, yes, but I talk about crypto less on my platform because my target demographic are other young people who are just getting into the investing and personal finance space. And so I would encourage them to look into maybe positions, stocks, index funds that have the potential for less risk, but maybe less return, but it's safer. So I would hate to tell someone to invest in crypto and then
No, I'm 100% with you there. Now we've got a market's take on a classic Hollywood gab show staple we call Who Wore It Better? And today it's all about the creator economy. We're pitting the maker merchant against the content creator. So on one side, we have the maker merchant. It's the product to checkout hustle. You're selling a real product. Maybe it's crocheted. You've got inventory, shipping, returns, and that moment where your costs spike because yarn ain't always cheap. And then on the other side, we have the content creator selling attention and influence, where the product is trust and the distribution is the algorithm, which can love you one week and ghost you the next. So Mary, you've got one foot in each style, so you're perfect to answer this question. Which model is better for the budding creator? Or if you insist on both, how do you wear the two together without letting risk ruin the outfit?
Dun, dun, dun.
I would say yes. That is a trick question because I do have a foot in both worlds. I sell physical handmade products on Purple Pear, my crochet and my knitted items, but then I also monetize the attention and the virality of my videos through paid sponsorships and affiliate marketing, etc. So I would say that my physical products have been a way for customers to really connect with me as a person. But the limitation of that is, especially with handmade products, you can't really charge what it's worth now in this economy where people are used to much faster manufactured items as a substitute.
Commodity items, yeah.
Exactly. So I would say that I have been able to connect with my audience and forge those relationships with them through my individualized, unique products. But being a creator and monetizing that attention has been a way that I've been able to build that financial stability behind it.
Do you feel like necessarily, are you happy in the way that you started with Purple Pear? Because it feels as though you built Purple Pear with the idea of being a creator, of being a content creator, of using this as sort of a platform to begin with. So do you recommend for someone who maybe is a content creator to sort of have something like that at first? Or it seems like it all kind of rolled out seamlessly, but I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah, I would say it depends because I will say, everybody likes to talk about the benefits and how much money you can make. But also, when you get to the point where you've monetized your passion, I like to say I'm an artist first, an entrepreneur, and investor second. When I sit down to work on Purple Pear, my fiber arts business, only about 10% of it is the actual artistic creation. So I would say before wanting to monetize your hobby, really sit down and think, am I willing to maybe make some sacrifices when it comes to that? Because for me personally, now I'm finding myself making the things that sell the best instead of maybe trying new patterns that I want to try and explore and enjoy. And so that's just something to also think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got another minute here, so I'm going to give you the floor. Anything we didn't get to, anything like that you'd like to say to the audience?
I would say the second best time to start is now. The first time was yesterday, but the second best time to start is now.
Yeah.
I mean, with the internet and social media,
And
so much.
ChatGPT, LLMs.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're using ChatGPT, you had said? Are we using ChatGPT or Gemini?
So I've used some ChatGPT, but also I do want to add a nuance that I'm really looking into options that are providing more environmental consciousness because I know ChatGPT and a lot of AI-powered systems use a lot of electricity and water. And so maybe something to look out for on everybody's radar is how can we continue to use AI in our businesses to grow our platforms and even in our daily lives while also being mindful of the environment.
Yeah, all you need is free energy. Working on that as we speak here at Stocks in Translation. Thank you so much for stopping by. Just a quick recap. We were talking about the creator economy. I'm going to have to go back and review the tape here because you gave a number of actionable ideas here regarding social media that I really need to pay attention to. And when it comes to market cap, hopefully we broke that down for you. By the way, if you're 20 billion or over, that's the S&P's break threshold for a large cap. I did not know that. I had to look that up. And other than that, we are just kind of flying here on the high of everything we've done this year. And Brooke, I want to thank you especially for jumping in here for all these episodes and for Lauren, our producer, and everybody in the studio. Thank you for making this happen for us. We have wound things down here at Stocks in Translation. We will see you next time.